Meanwhile, some worshippers and priests protested in Abuja against the killing of the Catholic priest and 17 other parishioners in Benue State. The protesters marched through the streets of the Federal Capital Territory, also demanding the arrest of the killers. Before the protest, the Catholic Church held a brief mass in honor of the deceased. The bishop who spoke at the mass condemned the attack and demanded actions from the federal government.
It's a solemn atmosphere as Catholic faithful in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, gather to mourn the death of two priests in Aya Mbalom, Benue State. The mass goes on at the same time the two priests are being buried alongside 17 other worshippers in the north-central state. In his sermon, the auxiliary bishop of the Abuja Catholic Archdiocese, Anselm Omoren, calls on the federal government to ensure the killers are apprehended.
Mr. President, I call you to keep your promise. We wish to remind you that the rampaging squad of terrorist herdsmen who have turned Nigeria into a killing field seem to be above the law, because we are yet to hear of any arrest or prosecution of these murderers who continue to amuse themselves with the blood of innocent Nigerians. I remind you, Mr. President, that there are no Nigerians that we know of who go to bed with the assurance that their constitutional rights are in safe hands. Those who go to bed with their two eyes closed are murdered in their sleep. We wish to remind you that the basis for the existence of government is the security of lives and properties of the citizens. This is what we are asking for. We are not asking for too much. We are not asking the government to, we are only asking the government to live up to its covenant with the Nigerian people. Secure our lives. People are needlessly dying in our country, and many of us are wondering whether there is still a government.
After his sermon, the worshippers trooped out in their numbers to the streets of the Federal Capital Territory for a protest march to press the government to address the situation and bring the killers of the slain priests and worshippers to justice. Wielding placards with various inscriptions, chanting songs, and praying.
Let them go back. Let's go back to the drawing board and look at the things and the strategies that we started and left behind. There is a message there. And look, this consistency of protest across the country means government should listen. The day government stops to listen, refuse to listen, then they are inviting other things. I don't know what that could be, but the government must listen to its people. This consistency of violence is beyond religion, because we've had series of demonstrations across the land. Something is happening. Government should listen. They should stop insulting Nigerians when they respond to crises like this.
The reason why I joined this thing is because my heart is bleeding so much. The killing of Christians is too much. It's getting out of hand. It's not funny at all. And I believe government to act fast about it, because it will bring division to the country. Yeah. The gathering is for them to know that we are serious about it, that our hearts are bitter, bleeding so much that we cannot condone the killing of our Christians, fellow Christians, especially the two priests they killed in Benue State.
Well, after this, if the federal government fails to take it, just like the primate of One Nigeria have said, politics and government is a contract. We are the ones that put them there. We will now go back to the drawing board and decide otherwise, because it can't continue like this. The trust and his word, the president of this nation, said that he will protect every life and property of this nation, but we have seen it that it is not so. So it's a deceit. And we are now going to go back to say no way again. The mandate comes from the people. It is not on the contrary.
The Benue State Governor Samuel Ortom has disclosed that the 19 people killed in the church are part of 425 people killed in different attacks in the state in 2018 alone. He also called on the federal government to end the killings and insisted that his anti-grazing law was the best solution. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, who was also at the burial of the priest, pledged government's commitment to ending the killings.